One of the most common phrases in real estate is location, location, location. And with good reason. Location, location, location should be your number one priority when you're going to buy a home. You can always change the inside. You can renovate, remodel, you can do anything you want to the inside of the home, but you can't move it. It's gonna be where it is. So one of the things when we're out with clients looking at homes that we're always very candid about is we always hope that our clients will buy a home that when it's time to sell in 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever years, that they'll call us and say, hey, it's time to move. And we'll be like, yay, we're so excited to sell that home. But if you buy a home in a bad location, that location is probably not gonna get any better and we won't be as excited to resell it. Sometimes people look for the value. They think, well, it's the cheapest home in the neighborhood or it's the best deal going. Well, there's a reason it's the best deal going and it will always be the best deal going. So if you're buying the cheapest home in the neighborhood, a lot of times people think that's great because then they're gonna be surrounded by things of higher value. But it's one thing to buy it if it's the cheapest just because of something else with the house. Maybe it needs a new roof or it needs a new kitchen or it needs some kind of renovation. That's one thing. But if it's because of the location, that will never get better. And I also caution anyone buying a home that backs up to commercial property. I had somebody look at a house the other day that backs up to commercial property and they were like, well, I'm okay with that. And I'm like, well, you might be okay with that business, but what if they sell their business in a year and it becomes a gas station? Or what if they sell their business in a year and it becomes something less desirable? Do you want to back up to the unknown? So think about what your home is backing up to. Maybe it backs up to power lines. We had a client once that wanted to buy a home that backed up to what I call the giant power tower. And I basically said, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be responsible for this decision and later any regrets. And I wouldn't support them in the transaction. Now, it's their home. It's their choice. They can do what they want. And we also support that. If ultimately you know all the pros and cons going into it and you want to buy it, that's up to you. But in this case, I just felt very uneasy about that choice and I just didn't want to be a part of it. So we will always be honest with you as to whether or not we think it's a good location and a good value to buy. But just something for you to think about when you're looking. You can't move it. It's always going to be there.